So, let's talk about something that's really shaking up the investment world, this huge strategic shift to outsourcing fund accounting. And believe me, this isn't just about tweaking a budget. No, this is a fundamental change in how firms are thinking about growth, efficiency, and, well, their sanity. Let's dive into why this is happening.
And I want to start by asking you a really direct question. Be honest with yourself for a second. Is your back office a smooth, well-oiled machine that's actually helping your team win? Or is it secretly the anchor that's slowing you down? How much of your team's precious time is getting sucked into admin that could be spent on strategy, on deal-making, or just building better relationships with your investors?
For so many firms, this quote right here is just reality. That constant pressure cooker at the end of the month. That nagging feeling in the back of your mind about a potential reconciliation error. The sheer stress when investor reports are delayed. These aren't just minor headaches. They're serious operational risks that can ding your reputation and completely kill your firm's momentum.
You see, all those individual pain points are actually symptoms of a much bigger issue. We can call it the back office bottleneck. It's this point where the traditional do-it-all in-house approach to fund accounting is just, well, it's struggling to keep pace with how fast the investment world moves today.
And here's the thing, it's not just an internal problem. There are these really powerful external forces at play that are pushing the entire industry to a kind of tipping point. Let's take a look at 3 huge game changers that are making the old way of doing things pretty much unsustainable.
First up, regulations are just getting tighter and more complex, demanding way stricter compliance. Second, your LPs, your investors, they expect more. They want faster, more detailed, and perfect reporting. And third, let's be real. Finding, hiring, and keeping top-notch fund accountants on your team has become incredibly hard and super expensive. It's a perfect storm, really.
So if the old way is broken, what's the answer? Well, this is where we get to the outsourcing advantage. And this is not about giving up control. It's the exact opposite. It's a strategic play to reclaim the things that matter most. Your time, the rock-solid accuracy of your numbers, and honestly, just some peace of mind.
Let's just paint a picture here, side by side. On one hand, you've got that familiar in-house chaos, the crunches, the risks, the administrative black hole that eats up your focus. But on the other side, you have the clarity that an outsourced model brings. We're talking faster net asset value calculations, way less operational risk, and a team that can finally focus on actual growth, because the back office is being handled by absolute pros.
But listen, we have to be really clear about this. This is about so much more than just saving a few bucks. A great outsourcing partner delivers serious, high-value results. We're talking consistently accurate investor reports, expert help with complex stuff like waterfalls and capital calls, and being ready for an audit at a moment's notice. The key takeaway? It frees you up to do your real job, investing.
Of course, I know what some of you are thinking. The offshore piece of this whole thing can raise some questions, right? It might sound complicated, maybe even a little risky. But a modern partnership is specifically designed to make this whole process feel totally seamless. Let's pull back the curtain and see how it actually works.
The process itself is incredibly structured and reliable. It all kicks off with secure data transfer. From that point on, your partner takes care of the daily or weekly reconciliations, they calculate the monthly NAV, they generate all the investor reports, and they provide all the backup you need for compliance. It's this disciplined workflow that just hums along in the background, letting you focus on the front office.
And this brings us to the big one. The critical question I'm sure is on a lot of your minds. Am I going to lose control? And you know what? It's a totally valid concern, especially when you're used to having all your data and your team right down the hall. So, does outsourcing really mean giving up the driver's seat?
The answer, and this might surprise you, is a hard no. In fact, a modern outsourcing relationship is built from the ground up to keep you in control. How? Through total transparency and constant communication. You get real-time access to your data, you have dedicated people you can actually pick up the phone and talk to, you get clear, regular reports. The best partners even make sure you have overlapping work hours so communication is never an issue. You're delegating the tasks, not the control. Big difference.
So let's get specific. Why has India become this absolute powerhouse for fund accounting outsourcing? It's definitely not random. There's a clear strategic logic behind this location that directly benefits firms, especially those in the US.
First, you just can't ignore the numbers. The cost savings are huge, typically falling somewhere in that 40 to 60% range, compared to building out a similar team in-house in the States. That's a powerful financial advantage you can plow right back into growing your firm.
But honestly, the money is only half the story. It's really about talent. Remember that in-house talent crunch we talked about? Well, outsourcing to a hub like India is the antidote. It gives you instant access to this massive, highly skilled, and deeply experienced pool of fund accountants. These are specialists who live and breathe this stuff every single day.
And finally, this one is a true game changer. The time zone difference gets turned into a strategic weapon. Your team in the US clocks out, and your team in India gets to work. Reconciliations, reports, calculations, it all gets done while you sleep. You literally wake up to progress. It's an unbelievable productivity hack.
So, we'll wrap up with this question for you to think about. Right now, today, is your back office just a necessary cost center, a source of expense and headaches? Or could it be something more? Could it be transformed into a strategic asset that gives you the accuracy, the scale, and the freedom you need to drive real, meaningful growth? Ultimately, that choice is yours to make.